Hi, this is Trinity. So I've observed myself and my practice of observation without judgment, and I see how I really tend to really identify as a fat person, maybe to an extreme, and this is where I see it happening. Is that like in my relationship with my daughter, she's got some genes from her father where she is skinny, and I feel this kind of sense of separation, which makes me feel kind of like a jerk. The fact that I'm like, I wish there's times where I'm like, I wish she was fat so like we could, complain about our fatness and like bond over that. And like, what the hell is that about? Why would I want my daughter to be unhealthy so that we could bond over it? That's just like ridiculous. It makes me realize that, there's I get a lot of thoughts going on in my head, and a lot of them are just bullshit, or they're just useless information, or just flat out wrong. So I don't need to entertain all of these thoughts all the time. I mean, it's a waste of time. If like I'd say at least half of my thoughts are probably just bullshit, and maybe even more than half. So this was going to really help me with meditation and being able to let go of my thoughts, because why entertain a bunch of bullshit that doesn't really matter, I see myself, I observe myself getting obsessed, and in moments where there's something like, and I want to learn more about it, and I'm like, the technology's holding me back from learning like what the hell I'm trying to figure out, and I'm just getting obsessed, and it's probably nothing. It was like an email that I was frustrated over with yesterday, and it's probably just nothing. So why obsess about nothing? Can I let my nothing feelings just and thoughts in my head, can I just let it go for a while and do something different besides identify myself as a fat person? I mean, maybe, oh my god, maybe there's like a skinny person within me. Like I've always viewed myself as fat. Even like I'll go back and picture myself younger. I look at pictures of myself when I graduated high school, and I was not fat. But I back then I thought I was fat. And so this identity has nothing to do with reality. It is not real. It's all a construct of my mind, which is full of a lot of crap. So, it's just like the more I do this practice of observation without judgment, the more I see that a lot of my thinking is just, it's all in my head, really. I'm like lost in my head. I think a lot, and that doesn't always serve me in the bigger picture of life, to be trapped in those thoughts, to be entertaining all of these thoughts that are actually nothing. So why waste my time on nothing when I could be meditating and actually practicing letting go of the thoughts that burden me? I mean, it just seems like a waste of energy. So what else is the fat identity about for me? It's also about safety. I think that there's a big factor that has to do with safety. Like even like with my tattoos, it's like I want to have this armor. Like because my perception of the world is that it's a horrible place. Maybe if my perception of the world shifted a little bit and it didn't seem so scary, or I was able to meet the needs for safety in a more direct way, then I wouldn't feel the need to protect myself with a layer of fat, with all this armor to keep me safe. And maybe I wouldn't feel the need to over identify as a fat person, because I will find a way to meet the need for safety in a direct way, instead of like this bullshitty, I don't know, this is very unhealthy. Oh my god, I'm gonna be 48 in a couple days, and I really wish I would have paid attention to some of this stuff sooner. I mean, but it's not too late. I'm tired of that thinking. Like it's too late for me because I'm old. Because I'm not that old. I mean, I feel old, but I feel old like in a good way. Like I can learn and I can adjust. I can pivot. Like this thing when I was younger, I used to watch people older than me in conversation, and there was like a small percentage of adults that I could see that were really able to pivot in conversation and like adjust. Like they could take in new information and like quickly on their feet adjust and be like, well, what about this? Well, what about that? And those people I was really inspired by and attracted to at a young age of like, oh my God, you can do the thing. You can take in this new information and you can readjust yourself, and then you could keep going. You don't lose your momentum because somebody kind of disagreed with you, or took the conversation in a different direction. It doesn't throw you off course. It just helps you modify and perfect your argument and your stance of what you're trying to communicate. And so I see that I can do the pivot more often. And it's like I want to hone that skill because I've always been attracted to that. I mean, I wish I had a more, I don't know, sophisticated term than just pivot, but that seems to be what it's called for me right now. Maybe I'll find a fancy term someday. Yeah, I think I want to meet the skinny bitch within me. Maybe she's not such a horrible person. Why would I want to suppress a healthy version of myself? What is that about? I mean, I think there's an argument to be made for that. An overuse of like fat acceptance can lead to this thinking of, this skinny bitch. Who the hell is she? Like, what? I've managed to do these walks for months now. I mean, I've been walking for almost a year now, and went from 2 walks a day for 10 minutes, and now I'm almost walking 3 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours a day. Okay, so I mean that's really significant. I'd like to do more, of course. I'd like to get abdominal exercises. Really, that would be awesome if I could apply that to my routine. Maybe even it was just 4 times a week. I mean, that'd be cool. But for me to get something like abdominal exercises to stick in this routine of mine, I can't change anything else. I mean, like for months, I have to keep redirecting myself to do that. That's a really hard one. I'm very tempted to like give up on the abdominal exercises and be like, oh no, I could do this other stuff. This will be way easier for me to apply that. I'll go back to those abdominal exercises some other day. But no, I found a really great video of stand-up abdominal exercises that's not that hard. It's not asking myself that much of time. It's only maybe like at 2 hours a week that I, to contribute to do this thing. I could really, it would be so great to incorporate that. But it's just so difficult not to be like, no, I can't do anything else new because I need to take the time to really apply that one, because that's gonna be a hard one to make stick. I'm like, so I'm slippery. I'm definitely slippery, and I want to wiggle out of doing things even when I have the best of intentions. Yeah, good at lying to myself. So I'm really enjoying this practice of observation without judgment. I don't, I like exploring how I look at myself and I perceive myself in the world. It's great. I don't need to identify as a skinny person. I don't need to identify as a fat person. I just want to have more balance in my life. And if having some more acceptance for a version of myself that's physically healthier, if I need to call her a skinny bitch for a while, maybe I'll learn something. I don't know. I'm open. I just want to be happy in life, and I think that really requires some self-exploration. And then for me, since I tend to like over psychobabble myself, then letting go, knowing that I don't have to entertain every dang thought in my head because half of them are just full of shit. I can go sit outside and let my thoughts go, and just be happy and have a moment, because I deserve the joy that meditation brings me.